In 2017-ish, we made a mistake that nearly killed our young video production company. And the worst part, it was completely avoidable. I promise you that no matter where you are in this journey, newbie or veteran, this video is gonna save you so much time and stress because reluctantly, I'm sharing 11 of the biggest mistakes that we've made building our video production company and how we've managed to survive them and thrive. So watch to the end because each one of these is avoidable and poses hidden threats. You don't have to learn the hard way like we did. We started in 2013 with a borrowed DSLR camera, no film school, no business background, no real plan beyond let's make some cool stuff, but we persevered and today we're 13 full-time staff and a rotating army of freelancers producing corporate work and documentaries for PBS and HBO, to name a few. And there's one mistake on this list that matters more than all the others by far. Most people guess it wrong. I'm curious to know what you think. Let's go.
Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Act 1, common misconceptions. These first 4 mistakes feel harmless. They're not. Mistake number 1, gas will kill you. I'm not referring to what you think I'm referring to. I'm talking about gear acquisition syndrome. We've all been there. I love new gear, but going into debt for gear your clients don't care about is the height of business stupidity. When we started, owning a red camera actually mattered. The quality gap was obvious. So here's the affordable market cameras. Here's the red cameras. Now, a $3,000 camera or even an iPhone can compete with a $60K rig in the eyes of most untrained clients. Okay, so now the gap is like tiny. Gap, little baby gap. I've got an RE right here. I love it. The look is beautiful. The skin tones, the depth, the dynamic range, it's gorgeous, okay? But it has never gotten us a single client, ever. It might look impressive, but nobody's paying you for a sensor. They're buying expertise, they're buying your taste, and frankly, a low stress experience. So here's what you're gonna do. You're going to rent gear, let the project pay for it. You've got a line item for rented gear in your budget. You should. Only buy expensive equipment when you have a more established production company and some predictable revenue. If you're just starting out, a $50K loan is like swimming with an anchor around your neck. So the rule, first, predictable income, gear purchases second. You'll thank me when you have a bad month and you don't have a crap ton of debt.
If I give you this money and you don't pay me back, there are no rules.
Number 2, not knowing your weaknesses. Early on, Dave and I decided we were gonna learn QuickBooks and do our own accounting. I bought a big box of Dunkin' Donuts. We were 100% committed. Not more than 20 minutes later, we called Dave's sister, an accountant, and hired her. That was the best decision we ever made. She's still with us today. There was no universe in which we were gonna do it faster or better than her, and we would probably make mistakes and go to jail for messing up our taxes or something.
Get me out of here.
Small owners think in pennies saved. Growing owners think in hours freed. We got back weeks of our year, time we used to find more work and improve our business. So here's a rule. If your accountant costs $75 an hour, but you're losing tens of thousands in missed opportunities, the answer is obvious. Hire the accountant. Mistake number 3, thinking quality is enough. When we started, we genuinely believed that if our work was really, really good, the business would take care of itself. That lie nearly starved us. The reality is that quality is only 1/3 of the business. You need these 3 things. You need marketing to tell the world that you exist. That's kind of important. Quality, that gets them to say their first yes. And reliability gets them coming back. That gets you repeat business. So if you're only doing quality, people don't know you exist, and you're not getting repeat clients because you're not getting clients. So yes, there is a word of mouth element that's huge in what we do, but you're not going to grow that way very fast. So most filmmakers stop at quality and assume great work will magically circulate on its own. It won't. Clients don't rehire artists. They hire people who are low stress, responsive, consistent, and the big R, reliable. Don't let the word marketing intimidate you. It's just a fancy way of letting people know you exist. For years, we made the mistake of avoiding social media because it was a distraction from the real work. And yes, it is. It definitely is. But ignoring it was a huge mistake. When we're consistently posting content, I can directly trace serious clients back to just a handful of those posts. Not viral posts, not genius posts, just consistently posting. People don't find you if you're invisible. So simple rule. Just once a week, put out one public signal that you're alive, a post, behind the scenes clip, a client win, a lesson learned, whatever. It doesn't take much. Mistake number 4, not getting off the truck or out of the van, like our podcast is named after. Most of us start companies because we love doing what we do. We like shooting and editing and directing and producing. So we stay on the truck, what we like to call a truck, forever. But growth requires getting off the truck and sending other trucks to do the job, meaning start hiring crews to produce videos for you so you can focus on the business. Here's a little humbling truth we learn over and over and over again is that it's not all about you.
What's it all about?
Most clients don't care if you are personally on set or are hitting record or editing the video. They care that their problem gets solved, which is getting a good quality video with low stress. What they're really hiring is your reputation, which in turn, you're staking on the people who you hire to help you, a freelance crew or something. So yes, you take a little bit less of the pie if you're hiring a freelance producer, but you'll buy back your most valuable asset, which is time to improve your business and get more sales. I still love to shoot. I love to edit. I love every part of the process, and I like doing it myself. Like I enjoy creating. I just have options now and don't feel like I have to do something or the need to micromanage every project that we have going on and being on every set. Here's a practice rule. Once a month, send a trusted crew on a small shoot instead of yourself. Nothing breaks this fear faster than seeing everything go just fine without you. It's also very humbling, which is a good thing too. All right, this is Act 2. Rules 5 through 7 are when the stakes get real. This is where ego and fear and bad emotional decisions quietly start killing otherwise talented companies. Number 5, arguing with the client. This one is a silent killer. And I call it that because even if you win the argument, you lose the war. It's their brand, their money. You're there to give them your expert opinion, but any strong arming or defensiveness breeds this quiet resentment, and they'll think twice about hiring you again. And you'll never know the true reason why they left. How you handle tension either raises your status with the client or lowers it. And arguing always lowers it. There is no exception to this rule. And there's 2 flavors of arguing that I think gets people into trouble the most. One is business arguing over money. I would say most of it comes from small scope changes, right? Like, I don't know, they want another round of revisions and a few hours of editing, or they need a little extra piece of gear on set to help with this. That's all. You don't want to get caught up in nickel and diming people for that, or look cheap. So don't even worry about that stuff. The bigger stuff though, you do need to set some boundaries, and that's like, if they're requesting an extra shoot day, or they want a whole nother video or something like that. The key is to really make this procedural, not emotional. Okay? This is just, as our lawyer would say, it's just a business issue, right? So Here's how we handle that. How I respond to that is very casual. We'll take a look at the request and send an addendum to the contract if there are any overages. Most of the time, they'll either say, "Oh no, don't worry about it," or "Cool." That's how healthy businesses talk about money. It's not a personal thing. The other flavor of arguing is getting into overly aggressive creative debates. And I would say, as creatives, this is more tempting because, we want to create something awesome, and hopefully we can use this on our portfolio, and they're doing stuff to change it. That's not what we want, or our style. On client work, you're not the author. You're more like a consultant. If you want full creative control, make a short film, do a director's cut, and more on that in a second. And I do want to make a note here. I'm not saying that you have to get trampled on. This doesn't give people permission to walk all over you. If someone is excessively manipulative or unprofessional, it doesn't matter if they're a client or not. Finish the job and move on. Life is short. Mistake number 6. It's one of the hardest things about being a creative when you're hours and hours into an edit and you get revisions. So number 6 is taking revisions personally. Client notes sting, no matter who you are. You're running a marathon and you're at mile 23 and somebody's just tearing you down. It's one of the hardest parts about doing what we do with clients. My partner Jody says it's like being a chef whose food just keeps coming back. You keep sending out the plates and they just keep coming back. The real mistake, we've all done it, is replying too fast while we're still all worked up. Lincoln kept unsent letters in his drawer, and you should keep unsent emails too. We've all sent a passive-aggressive email and we should have just taken a walk instead. The key with notes is to look past the polyp for the underlying disease. Gotta go deeper. No matter how it was sent or in what tone the email came with the client notes, sleeping on it usually gives you clarity, and a lot of times they do make the piece better once you kind of see it with clear vision. I would say most times they're pointing to something that does need attention. Mistake number 7. This one's a doozy. It's around the end of Act 2 here, so we're hitting one of the biggest challenges. This mistake is betting the company on one project. This is the one that I was talking about in the opening of this video, and it's the one that almost killed us. About 4 years in, we had an opportunity for a documentary, and we poured most of our emotional energy into it, and some real money too, into just one massive documentary project for a very respectable brand. We had contracts signed, lawyers looked over it, and a large feature documentary budget that was approved. No red flags. Then we started having trouble reaching the CEO. Then we started seeing reports that their employees weren't getting paid. So we're getting a little bit nervous. The brand went out of business and the owner went to federal prison for defrauding investors. Didn't see that one coming. We'd put everything on hold and we're banking on this one big project, so we had no backup plan, no cash coming in. It was the first and last time that we were seriously concerned about the company. The mistake wasn't going after a big project. The mistake was not maintaining normal business functions throughout it. And I think that if a project is so big that it takes all of your resources and time and effort, you just have to tread carefully, because if it does fall through, you're gonna have issues. So now the rule is simple. No matter how solid things look, we never drop the ball marketing, pitching. Nothing is 100% until every dollar is actually in your account. Now we're getting to Act 3. And this is where companies either mature into something sustainable or quietly disappear into the sunset. Mistake number 8, not being active in the film community. Remember that last one? So once we started implementing that rule where we never take our foot off the sales gas, you get the opposite problem, which is too much work all at once, which could be just as deadly to your business because now you're contractually obligated to do all this work and you don't know if you have the personnel to get it done. What do you do now if you get 3 green lights at the same time? What you need is flexibility, and that comes from community. We regularly share resources with other production companies that we technically compete with, but they've saved us at times, we've saved them, and we're always vetting and networking with various freelancers who can jump in if things get tight. What you need are the bottleneck breakers, and the 2 positions that do that best are producers who can run a whole set and do just about everything, and editors. Because when you're doing one thing, the project's still moving forward with the editor. And they're very dynamic and it's very labor intensive, so you need a lot of them. To have plenty of these positions and have a deep bench, you'll be fine. Mistake number 9. Investing in yourself means doing short films, free work on friends' passion projects, and constantly learning new things. If you've ever heard the saying, one for the meal, one for the reel, it's true. And that's a mindset that you have to adopt to keep moving forward. Passion projects are your lab. This is where you test ideas, you take risks, and you gain experience. 2, it's a proactive portfolio. So you're not waiting for a client to give you work. You're basically deciding what you want to be known for. And 3, maybe the most important lesson of all, is that passion projects keep you feeling more calm when client work isn't creative fulfilling, so you don't argue with the client. It scratches the artistic itch, and you don't live and die by your client work. You have something else keeping you going. When we started, we had 0 street cred as a production company. We had other jobs at companies before that, but not our company. We paid our own money and made our own short film called Throw about a yo-yoer. And that plus some other shorts we've produced have been by far our best marketing we could ever do. So the goal, 1 short a year. And investing in yourself also means committing to constant improvement. So if I were starting over today, I wouldn't rush out to buy gear, as we've discussed. I'd invest in courses, coaches. I'd find a mentor as early as possible. This is what I call good debt, if there is. The kind that pays you back tenfold. You spend less time making the same avoidable mistakes and more time accelerating toward real opportunities. And there are a lot of solid options out there. If you want, you can reach out to me. I coach filmmakers. We're building a video production course that goes much deeper than what we covered here. And if there's something specific you'd want to see included, drop it in the comments. I want it to be genuinely useful and show very practical things, not just another course or film philosophy type of thing. Mistake number 10, and this is a real killer, bad hiring practices. First, I want to state the obvious that our current team is amazing, but we have learned a few huge lessons. I think hiring is its own art, and we're not perfect at it or claim to be. We're not an HR department, but there have been a few simple rules that have kept us on track. Better to hire no one than the wrong one. Attitude often beats skill. And 3, call every reference. This surprises me every time because you're always gonna think you're gonna get like a positive, glowing review, and most times you do, but you learn so much just by asking questions and getting a reference. You'd be surprised, you learn so much nuance about whether the person's a culture fit or not, because people are generally honest. Don't skimp out. And lastly, mistake number 11, not knowing thyself. This is not a cop-out. It's actually a very useful thing to running a production company. I've learned a lot about myself through this process, and I enjoy it. I like running a business, but it's not for everybody. I like the storytelling part, and I like the business part. Storytelling part more, but I like being a player coach. If you like predictability, if you hate managing, if it exhausts you to think about making payroll every 2 weeks, a 9-to-5 or a freelance life might be better, and that's okay. Just know what you value. Is it freedom? Is it stability? Is it money? Is it creativity? And get clarity here, because it could save you years. If this isn't right for you, don't force it. Oh, and a bonus mistake. Hold on. Quitting too soon. It took us like solid 7 years to really start seeing the momentum and start learning the business, like start treating it like a business and not just making cool stuff. But hopefully with these lessons under your belt, it should take you a lot less time. Unfortunately, most people quit right before things start cooking. So building a company isn't about being special or just doing like this insane work that blows people away. It's about showing up, not collapsing when it gets hard. And we've had a few difficult moments, but we just keep going, and you should too. Got this. Question for you. If you had to reduce this list to one mistake that determines survival, which one do you think it is? Most people guess wrong, but drop it in the comments. Let me know. Now go kill it. Peace.